guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 13th video tutorial in the Python series, and in this video I'll explain you about while loop. In Python we basically use two types of loops, that is while loops and for loops. In this video I'll explain about while. So while loops are used to execute a set of commands as long as the condition is true. So let me show you that. We'll cover break and continue later. For that, let me initialize the value of I with 1, then I'll write while, and then I'll check the condition that if while I is less than 5. And then what I need to do while I is less than 5 is I need to print the value of I, and then we need to remember that in order to continue this while loop, we have to write I equal to I plus 1 so that we can increment the value of y. And in case if we don't increment the value of I here, this will turn into an infinite loop because I is 1 and 1 is less than 5. So every time the value of I will be 1 and it will be true always. So that's why we need to increment the value of I so that after a finite time it comes to a halt. So let me explain this. First, here the value of I is equal to 1. So it checks if I is equal to 1 and I is less than 5. So this condition is true, so it will print 1, and after that the value of I will be incremented to 2. Now it again checks whether 2 is less than 5. It is true, so it prints 2, and then it increments the value of 2 and I becomes 3. So now it checks if 3 is less than 5, which is true, so 3 will be printed and 3 will be incremented to 4. So now it checks if 4 is less than 5, which is true, that's why it will print 4 here, and then it will increment, add 1 to it, and now I becomes 5. So now once again it will check if 5 is less than 5, which is false, so it won't execute these statements and the while loop will be terminated. So let's check our output. Here, as I had explained, that this while loop will print the numbers from 1 and it will end at 4. So this is the way in which we write while loops. Now I'll explain you about break statements. Break statements are used to stop the loop even if the condition is true. For example, assume that you want to stop your loop once the value of I becomes 3. So in that case, we use the break statements. Let me assign the value of I equal to 0 here, and I'll write while. To separate this, I'll just write print slash. Okay. While I less than 5, and then I'll write print I. Now I'll check the condition that if I equal to 2, then I need to break it, and now here I'll increment the value of I. Okay, so what this does is the value of I is 0 here. It will check if 0 is less than 5 and it will print 0. And now it will check if 0 equal to 2, which is false, so it will increment the value of I to 1 here. Now 1 is less than 5, so 1 will be printed, but 1 is not equal to 2, so 1 will be incremented to 2. Now 2 is less than 5, so 2 will be printed, and here 2 is equal to 2. So break is executed. So after this, no other statements of while loop will be executed and our loop will terminate there. So let us execute that. Here we see that as we had expected, that our loop will stop once it prints the value of 2. So this is how break statements are used. Now I'll explain you about the continue statement. Continue statements stop the current iteration and continues with the next. For example, just imagine that you want to stop the operation of the loop for a particular value of I, but for the rest value of I, the same things should be executed. So in that case, we use the continue statements. um, Let me print again this. Print slash n is used for inserting new line, and I'm using this so that we can differentiate between answers here. I'll take the value of I to be 1, and then I'll write while I is less than 6 or I is less than 5. Then I'll just increment the value of I here first, and now I will check the condition. If I is equal to 2, if I equal to 2, then I'll do continue. Otherwise, okay. Otherwise I'll just print I here. So here what I'm doing is I'm checking if the value of I is less than 5. So here 1 is less than 5, so it will first do I equal to I plus 1. So I becomes 2 now, but here I see that 2 is not equal to 3, so it will continue and it will just print the value of I. Now it will check if 2 is less than 5, which is true. Now it will increment the value of I to 3. So here it checks the condition that I equal to 3, which is true. So now the continue will be executed, and instead of printing I, it will directly go to this statement and then execute the loop as normally. So now let's check our output. Okay, so as I had told you that the first value which will be printed is 2, and 3 won't be printed because when I becomes 3, continue is executed and then print is not executed, and instead of executing print, it stops the current iteration and moves to the next iteration. So this is all about while loop and how we can use break and continue in while. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching my videos. Please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.